Imagine this morning. You open your eyes, and before you even sit up, your hand is already searching for your phone. You promise yourself you will only check for 1 minute, but the minutes slip away, and suddenly your day starts with noise, stress, and regret. Welcome to Luminary English, where stories light the way to better English. You are not just watching a video, you are stepping into a story. Listen closely, feel every word, and let today be the chapter that changes your English forever. Part 1. Let us walk through a simple day in your life and see how a small screen can quietly eat a very big part of your world. The alarm sound rings from your phone and your hand reaches for it before you really wake up. Your eyes are still heavy, but your thumb already knows what to do. It unlocks the screen, opens your favorite app, and a long river of videos and pictures starts to move in front of you. You tell yourself that you will only watch a little, just to wake up your brain. Then you blink, and suddenly many minutes are gone. Your breakfast is rushed, your mind feels full and noisy, and the day has not even started. You take your phone with you to the bathroom, you put it next to your plate while you eat, and you keep it in your hand on the way to school or work. When the road is slow or the bus stops, your first reaction is not to look around or breathe deeply. It is to tap the screen and look for a new hit of excitement. A funny clip here, a new photo there, a quick update from a friend, and a joke from a stranger you will never meet. Each piece feels small and harmless, but they join together into one long chain that pulls your attention away from real life. Now you sit at your desk or in your classroom. In front of you, there is a book, a computer, a teacher, or a boss who is talking. You know that you need to listen, to read, to finish a task that matters for your future. For a few minutes, you manage to focus. You read a page, you listen to some words, you write the first lines of a report or a homework answer. Then a thought appears in your mind. Maybe someone replied to my message. Maybe there is a new like on my post. Maybe there is a new short video that will make me laugh. Your hand moves almost by itself. The phone comes out, the screen lights up, and your focus is broken again. You tell yourself you will just check one notification and then you will come back to work. But you see one more thing and then another one. A short break becomes a long escape. When you look at the time, you realize that you lost many minutes in a random scroll that you did not plan. You try to come back to your task, but your mind feels jumpy and restless. The sentence in front of you looks boring after the fast colors and sounds on your screen. You read the same line again and again, and the meaning does not stay in your memory. When you finally finish school or work and return home, you tell yourself that tonight will be different. Tonight, you will read that book you bought, or watch an English lesson, or work on the dream you have kept in your heart for years. Maybe you want to start a small business, or write a story, or improve your body with regular exercise. You eat dinner, you sit down, and then you think you deserve a short break before you start. So again, you pick up your phone for a quick scroll. The quick scroll turns into a long evening. One video leads to another, and the sun that was high in the sky is now gone. The room is dark, only the blue light of your phone shines on your face. Your eyes feel dry, your neck hurts a little, and your mind is full of images and voices, but empty of real progress. Those big plans you made for the night quietly die in the shadow of that small bright screen. At the end of the day, you lie in bed, still holding your phone above your face. You know you should sleep. You know you will be tired tomorrow, but it is hard to stop. You scroll a little more, you watch one more clip, you read one more comment. When you finally put the phone down, you feel a mix of guilt and sadness. You say to yourself that tomorrow will be different, that tomorrow you will be stronger. but tomorrow often looks almost the same as today. The worst part is not only the hours that disappear. The real cost is what you do not do while you are busy watching other people live their lives. You do not really talk with your family during meals because everyone is looking at a screen. You do not go outside for a walk. You do not move your body, and your health slowly becomes weaker. You do not give full attention to your friends, so your relationships stay shallow and weak. You do not spend deep, quiet time with your own thoughts, so you do not really know what you feel or what you want. If you look back at the past month, you may see a pattern. Many days that look almost the same, many promises to yourself that you did not keep, many evenings where you chose easy entertainment instead of slow growth. Your phone was in your hand in the morning, in your hand at lunch, in your hand before sleep. Bit by bit, the small screen became the main place where your attention lives. Social media addiction is not only a big word in a science book. It is a quiet habit that shapes many hours of your day. It eats your time, your energy, your focus, and your dreams in small, almost invisible bites. When you add those bites together, you begin to see how much of your life you are giving away. This is the first step. You cannot change a problem that you do not see. Now you have looked honestly at your own day, at your own habits, and you are ready to understand why this is happening inside your brain and how you can slowly take your life back. Part 2. Now that you have seen how your day quietly disappears into your phone, it is time to look inside your mind and understand why it is so hard to stop. When you pick up your phone and open a social media application, it does not only show you pictures and videos, it also presses secret buttons inside your brain. These buttons are small, but very powerful. When they are pressed again and again, they can control your habits, your attention, and even your mood. Inside your brain, there is a simple system that helps you know what feels good and what feels bad. One important part of this system uses a chemical messenger called dopamine. You can think of dopamine like a small bell that rings in your brain and says, "This is nice, do it again." When you eat your favorite food, when you win a game, when a person you care about smiles at you, the bell rings and you feel a warm wave of pleasure. Your brain remembers this and tries to bring you back to those actions again in the future. Social media uses this same system. When you open your phone and you see a new like, a new comment, or a funny short video, your brain receives a small hit of dopamine. The bell rings again. It is not a huge celebration, it is just a little spark. But it happens many times in a fast and random way. One small reward after another small reward. Your brain begins to connect the act of checking your phone with this quick pleasure. Soon, you do not even think about it. Your hand moves by itself because your brain is now trained to look for the next tiny reward. This is why you can spend 30 minutes watching short, simple videos, but you feel bored after only a few minutes of an educational lesson. A long lesson or a book gives you a bigger reward, but that reward comes later. You need to stay focused, you need to wait, and you need to use energy. On the other hand, a stream of short videos gives you something new every few seconds. New picture, new joke, new sound, new face. Your brain does not need to work hard to enjoy it. The dopamine bell keeps ringing again and again, and your attention follows the sound. Many social media applications are designed like a slot machine in a casino. You pull the handle, the pictures move, and you wait to see what comes next. Sometimes you win, sometimes you do not, and this surprise makes the game exciting. On your phone, you pull the screen down to refresh. You swipe up to see the next video. you tap to open the next story. You do not know if the next thing will be very funny, very cute, or very shocking. Your brain loves this feeling of maybe. Maybe the next one will be even better. So you keep pulling, you keep swiping, you keep tapping. There is another trick that makes it very hard to stop. In many social media feeds, there is no clear end. When you watch a movie, the story ends and the credits appear. When you read a book, you reach the last page and you close it. Your mind receives a clear signal that it is time to stop. But when you scroll on your phone, more content always appears. You reach the bottom of the screen and new posts rise up to fill the empty space. It is like a road that never ends. Without a natural stopping point, you have to create your own, and that is much more difficult. While all this is happening inside your brain, another quiet process is happening in your heart. When you open a social media application, you do not see normal life. You see the best moments of other people. A perfect holiday picture on a beach. A new car with a clean, shiny body. A couple smiling together in a beautiful restaurant. A young person showing their success in business or study very early in life. Many of these pictures are carefully chosen, edited, and filtered. The bad days, the boring days, the lonely nights usually stay outside the camera frame. However, your brain does not always remember that what you see is only a small part of the truth. Your brain compares your whole life, with all its problems and quiet moments, to the highlight reel of other people. You look at your own room, your own face in the mirror, your own bank account, and they do not look as bright as the pictures you see on the screen. A small voice starts to speak inside you. Why am I not in a place like that? Why is my body not like that? Why is my relationship not so perfect? Why is my work not so successful? These questions do not stay only in your mind. They create feelings in your body. Maybe you feel a little heavy in your chest, or a tight knot in your stomach. You may feel jealous, or sad, or empty, even if nothing bad happened to you that day. This is the cost of constant comparison. It slowly eats your self-respect and your peace of mind. The strange part is that when you feel bad, you often go back to the same place that made you feel bad because you are still looking for a little hit of pleasure to escape from that sadness. So a painful cycle begins. You feel bored or lonely, so you open your phone to feel a bit better. You scroll and find some funny or interesting things, and for a short time you do feel better. The dopamine bell rings, you laugh, you forget your problems. But then you also see people who look more successful, more beautiful, more happy than you. You start to feel small and behind again. You close the application and feel guilty for wasting time. You promise to change, but the next time you feel stressed, your brain remembers that quick hit of pleasure. Again, your hand reaches for the phone. Even people who seem very strong and confident can fall into this trap. There are stories of famous actors and artists who became obsessed with checking their phones after every post. Each time they shared a picture or a message, they watched the numbers of likes and comments rise. If the numbers were high, they felt good and safe. If the numbers were low, they felt nervous and insecure. Their mood and energy began to depend on the reaction of strangers. Some of them finally decided to delete social media from their phones because they saw how it was hurting their mental health. All of this shows one important truth. You are not weak or broken because you struggle with social media. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. It looks for reward. It avoids pain. It follows what feels easy and fun. Smart people who build these platforms know this. They design colors, sounds, buttons, and movement to keep your eyes and fingers busy for as long as possible. Every extra minute you stay on the platform brings more money and power to them. Your lost time becomes their success. Yet this is not a message of hopelessness. In fact, it is good news, because once you understand what is happening inside you, you can start to make new choices. When you know that a part of your brain is trained like a little child who wants sugar all the time, you can become the wise parent who says no at the right moment. You can learn to notice the urge to check your phone and see it as just that, an urge, not an order that you must follow. As you listen to this on Luminary English, you are already doing something different. You are using the same phone, the same screen, but in a more conscious way. Instead of letting random short videos control your attention, you are choosing a long, deep story that helps you understand yourself better and grow your English at the same time. This is proof that your phone does not have to be the enemy. It can be a tool if you learn to hold it with clear rules and a clear purpose. In the next part, we will turn this understanding into action. You will learn a simple system of steps that you can follow to slowly break this cycle of addiction. You will see how to protect your brain from endless dopamine hits, how to build new habits that give you real power, and how to use your time in a way that makes you proud when you look back at your life. Part 3. Now you understand how social media plays with the reward system in your brain, so it is time to build a plan. This part is about action. You will not only know that your phone can control you, you will learn how to take back that control step by step. Think of it like a small project for your life. The goal of this project is simple. You want to move from a life where you reach for your phone without thinking to a life where you choose when and how you use it. You will not become perfect in one day, but you can become a little stronger every single day. First, you need to see social media as a smart trap, not just a toy. When you imagine it as a trap, you can feel the danger and you respect its power. The colors, the sounds, the endless scroll, the likes and comments, all of these things are carefully built to keep you inside. When you open an application, you are walking into a casino that lives in your pocket. The house always wants to win. For a moment, think about the dreams you had as a child, or the dreams you still have now. Maybe you want to speak English with confidence. Maybe you want to travel, start a business, or help your family. Ask yourself how many hours you have already given away to this trap that could have gone into those dreams. This honest question is painful, but it wakes you up. The next move is to protect your attention from constant attacks. One of the simplest ways to do this is to turn off notifications that you do not really need. Every time your phone lights up or makes a sound, your mind is pulled away from what you are doing. Even if you do not open the application, a small part of your energy is lost. So you can open your settings, find your social media applications, and switch off their notifications. You will still be able to use them, but you will visit by your own choice, not by their call. At first, you may feel strange, as if you are missing something important. After a few days, however, you will notice more quiet in your mind and more space in your day. Now you begin to change the habit that controls your hand. Many times you pick up your phone before you even understand why. To break this, you can use a simple 5-second rule. When you feel the urge to check your phone, you slowly count down in your head from 5 to 1. During this short time, you ask yourself a clear question. Do I really need to open this application right now, or is it only a habit? Most of the time, the answer will be that it is only a habit. In that moment, you give yourself a small victory by choosing to put the phone down. Each small victory trains your brain to wait and to think. Over time, the space between the urge and the action becomes bigger, and you feel more like the driver and less like the passenger. Of course, some time on social media may still be useful or enjoyable, but it needs a safe container. That is why the next step is to set a clear time limit for your daily use. You can decide a number that feels realistic for you, for example, 30 minutes or 1 hour in a day. Then you choose when that time will happen, maybe in the evening after you finish your important work. You can use a timer or a focus application that blocks your social media after the time is finished. When the limit arrives, you stop, even if you want more. At first, this feels hard, like leaving a party early. But day after day, you will see that your fear of missing out becomes smaller and your trust in yourself becomes stronger. However, if you only cut out social media and do not add anything new, you will feel a big empty space. The mind does not like this empty space. When you feel bored, tired, or lonely, it will try to pull you back to the old habit. So you need to fill that space with real-life activities that feed your body, mind, and heart. You can go for a walk outside and feel the air on your skin. You can stretch or do simple exercises to wake up your body. You can read a few pages of a book that inspires you, or watch a deep English lesson on Luminary English that helps you grow. You can call a friend or sit with your family and listen to their stories. These things may feel slow at first, but they give you real memories instead of only images on a screen. Another smart idea is to make your phone less exciting. Right now, it is like a bright toy that calls your names. You can change your screen to black and white, so the colors of icons and videos no longer shine so strongly. You can move your social media applications into a hidden folder on the last page of your screen, so you do not see them every time you open your phone. You can log out after each use, so that going back in takes more effort. These small walls of friction give you a moment to ask yourself if you really want to enter, or if you are only following a reflex. The more boring your phone looks, the easier it is to leave it alone and turn back to the real world around you. At some point, you may feel ready for a deeper reset. This is where a 7-day social media detox can change your life. For 1 week, you delete or log out from all your social media applications on your phone. Before you start, you sit down with a pen and paper and plan what you will do with the extra time each day. Maybe on the first day you clean your room and organize your desk. On the second day, you cook a simple meal for your family. On another day, you spend 1 full hour with an English book or with lessons from Luminary English. Each evening of this week, you write a few lines about how you feel without constant scrolling. At the end of 7 days, many people feel lighter, calmer, and more focused than they have in years. During this whole process, it is very important to be kind to yourself. You have been training your brain for many years to expect quick rewards. You cannot completely rewrite this in one night. There will be days when you do very well, and there will be days when you fall back into long scrolling. When that happens, do not attack yourself with harsh words. Instead, look at what happened with gentle curiosity. Ask yourself when you picked up the phone, what you were feeling, and what you needed in that moment. Each mistake can become a lesson that makes your system stronger. Also remember that you do not have to walk this path alone. You can tell a friend or a family member about your plan. You can say, "I want to use my phone less and live more. Can you support me?" Maybe you can do the 7-day detox together, or you can send each other a message at the end of the day about how it went without using social media chat. If you like, you can also leave a comment on a Luminary English video and share your goal. Speaking your plan out loud makes it real, and having even one person who understands can double your strength. Little by little, as you follow these steps, you will notice changes. Your mornings feel calmer because you are not starting the day with a flood of random content. Your work or study sessions become deeper because your focus is not broken every few minutes. You begin to remember what it feels like to enjoy a book, a walk, a conversation, or a quiet moment with your own thoughts. You feel more respect for yourself because you are using your time with more intention. You see that your phone has not disappeared, but its power over you has become smaller. This system is not about hating technology. It is about putting technology back in its proper place. Your time, your energy, and your attention are the most precious things you have. Social media can either steal them or serve them, and the difference depends on how you use it. Now that you know both the trap and the way out, you are ready for the final part of this story. There we will look at two different futures, like two movies of your life, and you will choose which one you want to live. Part 4. I want to tell you a story about two friends who start in the same place, but do not end in the same place. Their names are Alex and Ryan. They are the same age, they go to the same school, and they both have dreams. Alex wants to do something creative with his life, maybe make videos or build a business. Ryan wants to travel, speak English well, and take care of his family. At the beginning, the difference between them is not big. They both have phones, they both use social media, and they both say they're just relaxing after a long day. In the first year, Alex brings his phone everywhere. When he wakes up, the first thing he touches is the screen. On the bus to school, he scrolls. During breaks between classes, he scrolls. At night in bed, he scrolls until his eyes hurt. He tells himself that it is normal because everyone around him does the same thing. He still finishes his homework, but he does it late and with half focus. He still thinks about his dream, but he always says to himself that he will start later when he has more time. Ryan also likes funny videos and pictures, but one day he looks at his screen time and feels a shock in his stomach. He realizes that he is giving many hours of his life each week to random content that he does not even remember. He feels a little angry, but this anger wakes him up. He decides to make a small change. He turns off notifications, he moves his social media applications into a hidden folder, and he sets a simple rule for himself. No social media before he finishes his most important work for the day. He is not perfect, but he keeps trying. Year by year, these small choices begin to grow. Alex still spends a large part of his day with his phone in his hand. When he feels bored or sad, he reaches for it without thinking. He sees other people showing their success online and feels more and more behind. To escape that feeling, he watches more short videos, but the empty place inside him does not really go away. His dreams become like old clothes in the back of his closet. They are still there, but he does not touch them. Ryan uses his phone in a different way. He watches some entertainment, but he also uses it as a tool for learning. He chooses long, deep videos that build his skills. He watches English lessons on Luminary English. He learns how to write emails, how to speak with confidence, how to manage his money. He still relaxes, but he relaxes after he has built something small each day. Sometimes it is just 30 minutes of focused study. Sometimes it is a page in his notebook about his goals. Sometimes it is a short workout to strengthen his body. After 5 years, their lives do not look the same at all. Alex has the feeling that time moved very fast, but he did not move with it. He still talks about what he wants to do one day, but that day always seems to be in the future. He feels tired often. He has trouble sleeping because his mind is full of noise from the screen. And he looks back at many nights where he scrolled until midnight and gained nothing. He does not feel like a bad person, but he feels stuck. Ryan is not perfect and his life is not a movie, but something is clearly different. His English is much better because he gave it real time. He can watch or listen to content without subtitles, and he can talk with people from other countries. He has tried some small projects, and one of them became a real side income. He has traveled to a new place at least once, not because he is lucky, but because he saved money on purpose and used his time well. When he looks at his phone, he sees an old enemy that has become a controlled friend. Now imagine this lesson is over and you put your phone down. You stand up and you walk to the window. You look outside at the real sky, the real light, and the real people moving in the street. You stand up and you walk to the window. You look outside at the real sky, the real light, and the real people moving in the street. In that quiet moment, you see two possible futures in front of you, like two different roads. On the first road, nothing changes. You keep using social media the same way you do now. You wake up and pick up your phone. You open it every time you feel a little bored or a little sad. You promise to start your dreams later, but later never really comes. On the second road, you do something that feels small but is actually huge. You decide that your attention is too important to give away for free. You keep some of the steps from this video. Maybe you turn off your notifications right after you finish listening. Maybe you set a time limit for social media and put your phone in another room when you work. Maybe you begin a 7-day detox with a clear plan for how you will use the extra time. You choose even one of these actions and you do it today, not tomorrow. Let us do a simple picture in your mind. Close your eyes if you want. Imagine one typical day 5 years from now if you stay on the first road. You wake up tired because you went to sleep late after hours of scrolling. You check your phone before you even sit up. Your morning passes in a blur. Your work or study feels heavy and boring, and you need constant little hits of entertainment just to feel okay. At night you lie in bed, holding your phone above your face, wondering where your energy went and why your life does not look like the lives you see online. Now imagine a day 5 years from now on the second road. You still have your phone, but it is not the boss anymore. You wake up and you do not touch your screen for the first short part of the morning. Maybe you drink water, stretch a little, and write 3 lines about what you want to focus on today. When you work or study, your mind feels clearer because it is not interrupted all the time. You give a piece of your day to a personal dream, like learning English, building a project, or caring for your health. At night, you feel pleasantly tired, not empty. You go to bed knowing that you used your time in a way that future you will respect. The distance between these two futures is not one big step. It is many small steps that you repeat. It is the choice to put the phone down when you want to pick it up. It is the choice to watch a deep lesson instead of 20 shallow clips. It is the choice to sit with boredom for a moment and let a new idea rise inside you, instead of killing that boredom with constant noise. Every time you make the harder choice, you are quietly building a different life. This is the message I want you to carry in your heart. Your time is your most precious gift. You cannot buy more of it. You cannot get back the hours you have already given to endless scrolling. But you can decide right now what you will do with the hours that are still in front of you. Social media will not disappear. The applications will not decide to become less addictive. The change has to come from you. And the good news is that you are strong enough to make that change. So here is your first simple action. When this video ends, don't open a short video application. Instead, take 1 minute to sit in silence and notice how you feel. Then pick one rule from this lesson and write it down. Maybe it is no social media in the first hour of the morning. Maybe it is one clear time block each day for deep learning, like watching a full lesson on Luminary English. Maybe it is the 7-day detox that you have been afraid to try. Choose it, Write it and start it today. If you want to make this promise even stronger, you can share it. You can tell a friend or family member what you are going to do. You can also leave a comment on this video and say one action you will take to break free from social media addiction. By speaking it out, you are already different from the old you who only thought about change but never moved. You are not just someone who watches content. You are a person with a story, with dreams, and with power. Use your phone as a tool to help you grow, not as a cage that keeps you small. Step by step, choose the second road. And as you walk, remember that Luminary English is here to walk with you, to give you stories that light the way to better English and a better life.